Go. We ready? Hello everybody, Banjo Boogie. This is Gary, Sharpen Your Axe. I'm down here at my bud Clay's house in his little studio man cave, and I put up a thread a couple of months ago, how to build a guitar from A to Z, and I wanted to finish up that thread with the last couple of things I wanted to show you. Sorry I hadn't got back to you earlier. I had a back problem and a few other things, but I'm fine now. But anyway, what you can do when you get a new neck, you're building a guitar, you buy these tuners. Most of the tuners, most of them, they go on and they have a screw in the back that holds them in place. Well, you want to know how to line these up. Now what I do is I stick them in a hole. Now I've only got 4 in here for now, but there's a reason for that. I'll show you in a minute. You put all 4 of them in. I snug them up with a pair of pliers. I never ever use wrenches on the guitar. I just don't believe in it. I worked on cars all these years, and when you turn a wrench, you can't tell how tight you're really getting that nut. And you got to be careful on a wood finish, especially a nice guitar. So you don't want to put an indent in it. So I always use pliers. I'd be real careful, but I always just snug them with pliers. All right, that way I can still move them, but they're tight enough where they won't just flop around. Now I take a straight edge like a ruler. Okay, this is not rocket science, so you can use something like this, and I put it on the back of the tuner, and then I eyeball. I turn them until they all look like they're straight. And there we go. That's all you got to do. Then you drill the holes for the screws, and mark them with a little screwdriver or something, and drill the holes, put those screws in. You're all done, and then they're all lined up. See that? Pretty really close. I mean, it's not exact because these holes aren't, and these necks most of the time aren't absolutely perfect all the way across. If you have different tuners, like this kind, this is a Spurzl locking tuner. These are good tuners, expensive. They have a male tit that sticks out, and there's no screw that holds them to the neck. So when you put something like this on your neck, you've got to drill a hole for this little male end to slide into. That keeps the tuner from sliding side to side, just like the screw does. But if you try to put it there and eyeball where to drill that hole, you're guessing, and you're not going to get it right. I mean, you might get one right, but you're not going to get it right. So they make this little tool. Get it from Stewart Mac. And if you're going to put these tuners, I highly recommend you get this. There's no room for error. I mean, no error. Tool cost me $35, I think. That was a few years ago. And you just stick it on. It fits pretty much every headstock. And you center it up on the next hole. You got to eyeball this. And then you drill the hole through one of the holes in this that keeps, it's a guide. Okay, I've used the thing a dozen times the last 3 or 4 years, and every one of them has always been in the same hole. Most of them are in that center hole. That's the guide. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's 4 holes in here for guides, but the center one's the main one. You drill that, take it off, put it in there. It fits just like a glove. So these little tools are really handy there, and they're so simple to use. I recommend you getting one if you're going to put this kind of tuner on, and you got to get the holes in the right place. So there's that. That's easy. That's one way of 2 ways of putting tuners on. Told you I was going to show you how to wire up a push-pull pot. I do a lot of electrical work. I can't tell you how many push-pull pots I've put in over the years. Hundreds and hundreds. I don't know. Anyway, it's very simple. This is a double push, double throw switch. It's actually two switches in one. It's got a pot on the bottom, or on the top. This is the way it sits in the guitar, and a switch on the bottom for the push-pull. These are 2 separate units. When you look at some of the wiring and pictures I've done, a lot of you have seen, I put the capacitor on them like this in the cavity. It just looks neat. I ground it to the top. But what I do is I will clip off the end of this orange drop, because I don't need this long piece. Now I use that piece in a few minutes, and I usually will cut it off right about there. And that way I can just solder this on, bend this up a little bit, like so, and just solder it on, just like that. Okay, it looks very neat, very professional. Now what I do, so in order to make a push-pull pot work, you have 3 rows of these little tits sticking out. The bottom 2, there's each side. The bottom 2, you want to ground these. So what I do is take that piece off that orange drop, because these holes are real small. and I take that and put it through the holes and use that as my ground wire. Okay, it's a little tight, but it goes right in there. And then I take it and bend it around to the top and ground it at the top. All right, now your switch is grounded, and it looks kind of professional and kind of neat too. Plus, you just use something you were going to throw away. Next thing you do to make the push-pull pot work, the two middle prongs are the prongs for the two wires. They're the red and white wire on most guitars. That you plug that. That's off the pickup. You plug that into the middle one. That's it. The push-pull pot works. It'll be humbucker and single coil up. If you want to switch it, make it single coil down all the time, and humbucker when it's up, you just switch these two from here to here, the ground on the other end. So you can do them either way. 99 out of 100, most people are going to have humbucker down and single coil up though. So this is the way it sits. So that's all it is to doing a. The bottom part is the pot. You got to wire that up like you normally would any other pot. But that's all you got to do to make a push-pull pot work is ground these two to the body and put your wire into either one of the middle ones. That's it. Push-pull pot works. It's that simple. I've also heard stories. A lot of guys have problems, and they say don't solder to the sides of these pots. This metal is so thin, and that heat it can damage the pot inside and make it rough or whatever. I never solder to the sides. I always solder all my ground wires and everything to the top of this pot. I've never had any problems. I never had to take one back out because it was funny or made a noise or something. Well, there it is. There's both things. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me, PM me or whatever. Or give me a call or send me an email. Doesn't matter. I hope you got something out of this thread. I really enjoyed doing it for you. And I'll put something up later on about the other parts of building guitars when I have some time. I'll see y'all.